There is a yell ahead, as Renkailon signals the Comitatus about something on the road. It takes only a few minutes to reach it and see what it is. Another Comitatus, only this one has upturned carts and dead beasts along with its massacred crew. Bodies are everywhere, lying on the road and on the side of the dike, bloodied, mutilated even. There is also a stench of burnt flesh in the air. From where I stopped, it seems that nobody is moving.
Mustn't have been long ago, maybe several hours from the looks of it.
Even now, most of my crew is looking around anxiously, holding weapons, ready for an ambush. I take some of my most trusted coms and approach the wreckage carefully. Getting closer without any issue, I can observe the destruction up close. It appears that someone set an ambush for the unfortunate Comitatus here. The carts are indeed damaged, and some of them are turned on their side. Yet the cargo seems to be barely touched, which means that the attackers either had no time to loot or were not interested in the goods. Most beasts of burden were killed very early in the attack, struck down by arrows and javelins. The crew and guards were massacred when they tried to defend themselves. They seem like my regular trader sort, although a few among them are wearing colored steel armor, the likes of which I've only seen on soldiers of the dragon armies.
Everything points to the assault being well coordinated, the work of professionals.
After a while, I identify the attackers. They look like mercenaries in dark armor. A scout tells me that she does not think any of them got away. Then there are the burn marks all over the place. Whatever caused them must have been potent, like dwarven bombs, only smaller. It scorched carts, the stone of the road, and people alike, perhaps even killing some of them. The strangest is a pair of corpses fused together, as if petrified into a lethal hug by what I can only imagine was some devastating arcane force. They are so badly burned that it is impossible to make out who or what they once were. Suddenly, there is an anguished cry from the other side of the wreckage. I and my fighters rush there to see a young woman whose right leg is stuck under a fallen cart, lying on the ground, desperate but unable to get away from a man in leather armor crawling toward her, brandishing a long knife. He has almost reached her, raising the knife high to strike, while the woman is trying to kick him away to no avail. With a wave of my hand, I give the order, and my men rush to her aid. Gorgoro leaped forward and finished the man off with a single decisive whack to the back of the head. The dagger falls on the ground from the mercenary's now limp hand, and the terrified woman looks up at me in utter shock. Now it is clear that she is a dragonkin, with fine scales covering parts of her body, along with small barb-like bone spikes. Her reptilian eyes wide, she sputters unintelligibly for a few moments, before finally managing to speak coherently.
Who? You are not one of them!
She lies back on the ground and laughs, yet I can see tears in her eyes. It takes her several minutes to calm down, and I use that time to have my crew free her leg and tend to her wounds.
I am very grateful. I am the luckiest person alive, really. What were the chances that someone shows up just before? I cannot thank you enough, Vagrus, but I'm also forgetting my manners. Forgive me. My name is Finndurarth. I am a representative of the Dragonlands. Well, of the Blue Brood, to be precise. Thank you for saving my life.
How did you end up here?
My superior and I are diplomats on a mission given to us by the leaders of the Blue Brood. We hired this Comitatus, after leaving our homeland, to take us south where we were to meet someone important. Everything went smoothly until the attack. We did not expect anything like it. And why would we have? Our mission is important, but not clandestine by any stretch of the imagination. But these murderers were clearly here to kill us. They even had a sorcerer with them to hide their presence and to counter the magical abilities of my superior and my own.
She stops and looks around, then struggles to her feet. I follow her to the place where the two burnt corpses are, twisted into a single morbid column of charred flesh, forever locked in a deadly embrace. There, Finndurarth breaks down crying and falls to her knees. There are moments in life when even words can't change anything. I let her cry in silence.
I did not know Hathardos, my superior, too well. But this is such a horrible way to die. However, I'm sure that you are not here to listen to my mewling.
I instruct my crew to put the bodies to rest. I move away from the worst part, and Finndurarth calms herself with a drink of cool water.
You probably have questions. I'll try to answer them as best I can.
I do have a few questions indeed. Who exactly are you?
As I said, I am a diplomat. Well, a diplomatic attaché of the Dragonlands. I was born and raised at Tempest Peak, the nest of the Blue Dragon Lord, Doran Mathar. I was instructed in the way of dragon magic and the art of diplomacy. This was my first real assignment. But I shall not give up. I am more determined now than ever before that this mission is important, and I have to see it through.
Why were you here, and what is your mission?
Right. The mission is exactly why we were here. I cannot disclose many details, unfortunately. I am sorry, Vagrus, but this is a matter of state and of professional integrity. Yet it is by no means clandestine or menacing, I assure you. What I can say is that my superior, the diplomat Hathardos, and I were sent south to Carnage Station in order to meet a contact there and be escorted to a meeting of diplomats. We left the Dragonlands through the Sapphire Pass, then traveled west until we reached the Emperor's Road. Turning south, we were making good progress until this vile ambush happened. I have to carry on, no question about it. I have to make it to Carnage.
Can you give me details about the attack? Finndurarth becomes visibly shaken at the mention of the attack. I am afraid that she will break down crying again, but she composes herself eventually.
It happened fast, in broad daylight. Their sorcerer used a spell to distort the view and hide the mercenaries. The Comitatus crew started falling to arrows the moment the illusion went down. Their Vagrus was among the first slain. Missiles of crackling energy burned people and exploded so violently that some carts were turned on their side. The little fight we could put up was over quickly as the killers and their mage moved in. The only real resistance the ambushers faced came from our handful of accompanying Dragon Guard soldiers and Hathardos himself. They pushed the attackers back and made quick work of about a dozen before long. I tried to be useful, but I am ashamed to admit I got bested fairly quickly. Perhaps I should not have attacked their mage. His power was too strong for me to counter. Carts flew up in the air, one landing on my leg after the mage's missiles hit the column. But then, Hathardos sacrificed himself by teleporting next to the sorcerer and releasing an arcane explosion that burned them both, along with most of the remaining mercenaries. I passed out. When I came to, I was in the middle of the destruction. I have no idea how the remaining attackers died, but my hunch is that the Dragon Guard dealt with them before succumbing to their wounds. Only that one man remained, who also came to and tried to stab me just before you showed up. The attack was decisive. It was planned out meticulously, no doubt, although you have to forgive me for not being impressed by such murderous perfectionism. At any rate, it is clear that someone wanted us to fail badly. Badly enough to hire these assassins, no doubt for a veritable fortune.
What do you intend to do now?
I have to finish what we started. What happened here does not make my mission less important. On the contrary, more than ever before, I think what we set out to do is important. Important enough for some to kill for it, apparently. I shall honor the work and memory of Hathardos and these unfortunate souls and do my job.
Helping this diplomat could potentially earn me the favor of the dragon authorities. I'm taking a big risk in doing what I'm about to do. Would you like us to take you to Carnage after we pass through Deven?
You would? Oh, thank the flame. Thank you. You have no idea how important this is, not just to me, but to my land as well. Maybe to all the realms. I'm getting ahead of myself, sorry. It's just that I'm still shocked to be not only lucky enough to survive the ambush, but to be aided by you, Vagrus. That said, I must say that it is a matter of utmost importance that I make it to Carnage in time. My contact will not wait for me forever. If we do not get there in about 3 weeks' time, I'll have to leave you and make my own way there. But worry not. I will make myself useful as soon as my wound is healed. As a reward, I offer you the dragon steel of my former companions, along with the cargo of our unfortunate comitatus, as well as the guaranteed gratitude of the Dragonlands.
Finndurarth seems very satisfied with herself and heads toward my carts. As she walks away, my men approach, and it's Garrick who speaks first.
No offense, Mend. Well, who am I kidding? I don't give a fuck. Have you lost your mind, Vagrus? Helping that dragon woman when the ones hunting her are nothing short of professionals.
I'm with Garrick on this. We're taking a big risk here.
I agreed to work for you, Vagrus. But fuck it. I've got enough trouble as it is. Don't go making me a traitor to the Empire just 'cause you're getting cozy with dragons.
Calm down, Garrick. He hasn't made any pact with the enemy. He's just escorting a diplomat to her meeting place. Nothing more.
I've already considered that possibility, Garrick. But don't forget, the Dragonlands are wealthy, very wealthy. As I say this, I hand him the dragon steel. His eyes widen slightly at the sight of the rare, and above all, illegal metal, worth a small fortune. He growls, then reluctantly gives in, without another word.
Fuck. You'd better be more careful with your choices, Vagrus. I've got no desire to die like an idiot.
Would you like me to keep an eye on her? Just in case?
Yes, and you too, Renkalen. Be extra cautious when you're up front. The devastated comitatus was carrying spice and coffee on top of a healthy stack of supplies. My crew helps themselves to the fallen's weapons and belongings, while I take the coin of the dead Vagrus. Unfortunately, I learn nothing from the assailants' gear, other than the fact that they were quite well equipped. I also load the dragonsteel belongings of the armored Dragonlands warriors before leaving. Near Deven, I can't help but notice massive spires rising into the sky. Curious, I decide to take a slight detour. The great spires loom above, pitch-black columns rising higher than any stone or tree. The wind avoids this place, its currents lost within the dark labyrinth. Despite the blazing sun beyond the jagged crowns, the air remains cool. None dare settle here. Silence reigns. We walk up to one of the gigantic black pillars and take a closer look. The surface is uniformly smooth, and not even a single hairline crack is visible anywhere on it. Its matte darkness seems to consume the light. The spire is cool to the touch, which should be quite impossible, seeing how the sunlight hits it directly. Whoever built these must have used truly extraordinary means to achieve this confounding result. Upon closer inspection, the spires appear made of obsidian, glassy, dark, unnaturally smooth. No mortal craft could shape such vast, flawless surfaces. The material must have been fused and formed by unknown means. All this, along with the other odd qualities, points to arcane magic, though it must have been beyond mortal capacity. It must also be the cause of the apparent imperviousness of the spires. Try as I might, I cannot chip or even scratch them in any way. Perhaps it is true what they say, that the Emperor himself was responsible for erecting these silent, ineffable monuments. But why? Upon arriving in Deven, Garrick assured me that the dangerous goods had been hidden in such a way that no one would be able to find them. And indeed, the inspection went smoothly. It's probably not the first time he's done something like this. This is my first visit to Deven, a city that has endured into the Fourth Age. It is said that since the calamity, the vast labyrinth of subterranean halls has continued to grow. After delivering my 2 shipments, Garrick asks me to follow him to a market in the Hinter Caves, which might hold some interesting equipment. Below and beyond the busy great central caves of Deven lie halls, corridors, and chasms, both natural and artificial, populated mostly by the native wraiths, newcomer dark elves, and the city's poor. The area is referred to as the Hinter Caves. The stench of rotting corpses hits me. Here, misery and decay reach their peak. Yet Garrick seems unfazed, moving forward with ease, as if he were at home.
The reason to come here is to find illicit goods here that are not easy to obtain at other markets.
I follow him through the stalls and watch as he negotiates with a man. After a handshake, he points out a hidden compartment. I order my men to bring its back to the Comitatus. Do you have any wraithgrass?
From the garden of a prince.
The grass-like plant, neatly cut, still emitting a pale glow. It's not cheap, but Vorax just can't keep still. Wraiths are everywhere. Everyone in the Empire knows this. Not only that, but most do not care to acknowledge their presence, so they overhear a lot of things. They quickly make it clear that all information comes at a price. What do you know about the Dark Elves of Deven?
We are not a people who enjoy speaking of our lives, Vagrus. What I can tell you is that my kin fled a regime in our homeland, deep within the Everdark. We are known to provide certain services, and yes, we do have a fondness for the slave trade.
I learned from talking to their traders that the colony is ruled by Prince Laekor, whose court is often employing Vagri and rewards all kind of services.
Be cautious, Vagrus. Dealing with Prince Laekor can be as rewarding as it is dangerous.
The remark is strange, especially coming from a dark elf. Still, I decide to pay a visit to the prince's court. The court of the prince resides in a large hall fashioned from a natural cavern at the back of the colony's territory. Here, black granite pillars adorned with serpentine demons hold a shadowy ceiling under which silk-clad and perfumed courtiers speak in hushed tones. Purple and blue crystal lamps provide eerie illumination to the hall, engulfing the honor guard standing vigilantly around the throne of their grim prince in a sort of ghost light.
It is through me that your dealings with the court must proceed, Vagrus.
How might I be of service to the court?
Let's say some factors do not make our integration easy. Prejudice runs deep here. Many courtiers are in need of certain goods. Yet local merchants refuse to sell them except at outrageously high prices.
I could bring them a stack of leather and obsidian from tome to time for much-needed crafting, even iron for their dark smiths, and of course, a set of tooks will do too, of the better quality. A journey from the Drushan quarry could yield a fabulous profit.